to our interview with Alan Griffin. We caught up with him prior to the show, and we let him off with last night's game, of course. We asked him about the offense, the fact that it was their most efficient offensive game of the season, shot better than 63% from the floor, and we'll play that interview for you now and hear his thoughts on what was working offensively for the Orange last night.
No, I think it's when, this is how we looked in the summertime, plus us being able to shoot the three better, but, us being able to score 102 points. We were in a groove. They were working with one another. They shared the ball, and I think when JC is playing the way he's played the last 2 days, I think our offense is going to trend towards being a lot better. We're just waiting for guys to make some threes now.
Yeah, and you brought up Jaquan Carlos, and we have to ask about him because the last two games he hasn't just played good; he's played great these last two games. Is this kind of what you guys were expecting out of him? When you signed him out of the portal?
Yeah, definitely. He was such a breath of fresh air this summer, and I think he's starting to settle down, and he understands that he has the utmost confidence from our coaching staff, but also how good or bad he plays. Just go out there and just play hard, and I think he's starting to settle in a little bit, and hopefully that's it, because that's a good thing for our team.
You mentioned knocking down threes last night, and Donnie Freeman shot the ball great. When you're looking for threes, what kind of shots do you want from him? Because I've talked to Red, and it was kind of like, hey, we need him to be down low and get the ball to the basket. But, were those good threes last night? Or, maybe you could break down when he should shoot threes and when he shouldn't.
100%. Those were very, very good threes for him. Those are the shots that he can make. I thought early on he was pressing, and I thought he was taking some shots that it's hard shots for 40% three-point shooters. And, he got himself, set, got his feet set, and Donnie's a good shooter. He just had to settle in a little bit. So hopefully that can continue to keep him going and motivate him to keep shooting the ball.
All right, let's talk about the other end of the floor now. And you gave up 85 points to Albany, and Red in his post-game press conference last night talked about needing to do a better job closing out possessions, getting the rebounds when you force a miss. Can you talk about that end of the court a little bit, Griffin, and what the biggest thing is on that side of the court that you guys have to shore up moving forward?
I think if you look at 12. The 12 offensive rebound, I think I felt like they scored on every one of them. I think that will cut down some of that in terms of the points with our defense. I thought for 33 minutes of the game, I thought we did a really, really good job. And again, I think Ray hit it on the head. In his press conference after the game, is like, when you bring in guys off the bench, guys got to be ready. And not to say guys that was in the game didn't make mistakes, but we expect them to see what the guys are doing, out there, and to come in and not make the same mistakes, and give a boost of energy. But yesterday wasn't that night, and hopefully we can continue to, bring guys along, especially coming off our bench, because at the end of the day, we're going to need our bench.
When you talk about defense, the one thing that comes up most from callers, and it looks to everybody, is there's never another person at the rim when somebody gets beat. Is that something that can be fixed? And who is supposed to be there? Is that a center? Is it a forward? It seems like there's no help when a guard gets beat.
Yeah, it depends on the offense and how they align their alignment up. And now you got skilled guys, with big guys that's stepping out more and more, being on the perimeter. So now it's not your center stepping over. We work on our gap help, and sometimes guys are guarding each other. Guarding their guys too tough and not being in the gap. But no, we're a work in progress on that end. Especially, we just got to continue to just keep getting better. And you know what can really help is if we continue to play offense the way we've been playing.
Yeah, and let's talk about your position group for a moment, if we could. And Eddie Lampkin, 5 more assists last night. Is he the best passing big man that you've ever had a chance to work with? Where does he kind of rank in that category?
You know, Steve, I actually don't work with the bigs anymore. I work with the forwards like Donnie and those guys, and but I can answer your question. Probably one of the best. You know, I would love to play with him. I think I would have got 2 or 3 layups just playing on him anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I think we got to do that more. We got to encourage that more. You know, guys got to, trust that he sees them and cut and do all that stuff. So, but when it comes to being able to his playmaking ability, it's probably some of the best. Right? There's people out there that thinks that Eddie Lampkin should get 25 and 15, and in order for that, we're not going to win, but that's not his game. His game is what you're seeing, and maybe he can finish around the rim a little bit more, but 12 and 6 is really good. Some people, you know what I mean, in this world is, putting things out there that shouldn't be put out there. But you know what? That negativity stays out of our locker room, and we just continue to just keep playing. But he's not a 25 and 10 guy, right? He's gonna be a assist, rebound, and he hopefully gets us over double digits, for most of the games moving forward.
Is he finally getting into action too? Because last night it seemed like that was the most I've seen him warm up prior to the game with the team.
I mean, again, he's just getting himself going. He missed a couple of practices due to, some stiffness in his body, but he's getting himself back going and moving better. And each game is getting better. Each practice is getting better. He's participating more and more and more in our practices, so that's just going to get him better.
One other injury-type question. Chance Westry back. We're seeing him kind of, bits and pieces. We saw 3 minutes last night. Can you give our listeners an idea of how difficult it is for a guy not to play a game for 2 years and then to work his way back into game shape? Because I think sometimes, our listeners don't understand, why he's not playing more, I guess.
It's extremely difficult, and I think the expectations for Chance is to just come in there, play and just get his feet wet and just continue to battle back and work as hard as he can. That's it. Again, it's really difficult because you're playing against guys that played every day, and you missing days and months and almost years. So it's really difficult. But Chance is doing a really good job. He's working hard, and we just got to get him continue to build confidence.
I'm not speaking out of school here. You guys are 1 game over 500. How hard is it for a coach to get a guy in game shape or game minutes when you're in that situation? Is it more difficult to get risk the chance of getting a guy in there that hasn't been ready?
Yeah, you know what? It's one of those things where we don't need him. We down a man. At that position. With JJ being out, so there's opportunities to put him in there and get his feet wet and build the confidence. I think the biggest thing with Chance is confidence, and knowing that he can do it. At the level that he was used to doing it. So, whenever we get a chance to sprinkle in there, we're going to do it because it's important for our team moving forward.
All right, Griff, last question from me. Georgetown coming up on Saturday. 100th meeting all time between these two longtime rivals. Can you just speak to the rivalry, what it means to you, what it means to the coaches, what it means to Syracuse basketball to see Georgetown on the other side?
It's the biggest game of the year. It's always the biggest game of the year, regardless of what the two teams are playing or what the two teams are doing during the year. And the records doesn't indicate anything. I would say it's just one of those things that when you're in college basketball and you can play in a traditional true rivalry game, it's special, and the greatest thing about Georgetown with Ed Cooley, we know they're gonna come in and they're gonna be ready to go. So we got to be ready and match the intensity, and hopefully it's a good game.
All right, last one for me. You're a big Yankees fan. How'd you handle the Juan Soto deal?
His loss. This is his loss, but I get it, right? This is the world of money. And you know what? And sometimes if you're losing guys to money, then that's what it is. If you want to go down as one of the best all time in history, you stay with the Yankees. If you want to make the most money, you go with the Mets.
There you go. Alan Griffin joining us here on the show. I think he speaks for a lot of Yankee fans, Paulie, with that response.